Hello. Many years ago, I went to the movie theater. I went with friends from high school a long time ago. I need captions, but was informed that there are none. They should have had devices for captions that are available at other places now, but they didn't. Okay, fine. I accepted it and entered anyway. I watched the movie, but without captions, I was unable to understand anything that was going on. I asked my friend to use texting to help me understand, but it was still a struggle. I was not able to follow the movie. Years later, I heard about captioning devices becoming more available at movie theaters. I went to a movie theater and requested a captioning device. I set it up to watch the movie. Unfortunately, there was a problem. The battery was dead. The device shut off and no captions were available. I went to complain and they told me they would fix it, but they never did. I've been to other places since then and have had some good experiences and some not so good. My point is that many places nowadays still have access problems. Really everywhere, but I'm referring to movie theaters here. That is one area that we continue to see repeated incidents. One other example most recently here locally was when I went to a movie theater with my wife. When we entered, we realized they weren't ready and the captions were set up incorrectly, synced to a different theater. So the captions were for the wrong movie. More access problems and frustration. It seems that they just assumed it was programmed for the right movie. Why? I mean, they should know better. To check to make sure the captions are set up correctly before the deaf customers enter the theater. All right, I forgot to add one thing. Funny. A while ago, my wife and I went to a movie theater and they had open captions, meaning the captions were on the screen itself. You know, not like a separate device or the silly glasses. The captions are literally embedded on the screen itself. Open captions, OC. It was perfect. Just perfect accessibility. That should be the standard everywhere in all movie theaters. For example, recently in DC, Washington, DC, they have open captions continuously available. More recently, I heard of another place that passed a law requiring all movie theaters to provide open caption movies on a regular schedule at specific days and times. I think more places should follow their example. Open captions are the simplest, easiest, best way to provide access to all deaf and hard of hearing people and anyone else that relies on captions. Okay, another story. Over the years, I've been to many doctor's appointments and hospital visits. One common theme I've noticed is a lack of interpreters in these places. However, nowadays, more recently, many hospitals have set up VRI, video relay interpreting. For VRI, you use a screen and connect with a remote interpreter who is off-site at a different location. Often the hospital doctors will bring the device and set up VRI for the deaf patients to use. However, it has its own problems. Many times, the feed is disrupted due to Wi-Fi issues and lack of signal. There may be no connection. For example, in my specific situation, I was accompanying my wife for a doctor's visit. I tried to use the VRI to understand what the doctor was saying, but noticed there was a lag. Then the connection was intermittent. And the picture was not clear. I had to interpret the doctor and the nurse to address the problems. They kept apologizing, but they need to fix the problem. Then I realized the need for a live interpreter. There are many situations, and live in-person, meaning in person, in the same location, where that is more appropriate for the patient. Some emergency situations require a live interpreter for quick decisions and to facilitate immediate conversation and quick communication between patient and doctor. I've seen VRI be unsuccessful many times. This is one of the instances where hearing people assume VRI is good enough, but it's not. VRI is not always good for all situations. Understand that VRI can be appropriate for the work environment, but not for serious medical situations. We need a live, in-person interpreter. It's a must. We cannot afford communication breakdowns from bad connections, misunderstandings, or unclear screens. People can't afford that in serious situations. I wanted to add one more thing. Often when I call the doctor's office and explain that they need to provide an interpreter, sometimes they say, "Oh, fine, no problem." Then later when I arrive, I discover there's no interpreter. None. Sometimes the interpreter sent does not have the skills. That has happened in many different places, and I hear the same story from other people everywhere. What I want doctors' offices and hospitals to understand is that there are laws that confirm they must provide interpreters who are actually qualified, not those without the appropriate skills, but skilled, qualified interpreters. A person who can facilitate effective communication between deaf and hard of hearing people or patients and doctors.